All right, welcome to the Sports Guys. Another weekend recap, another exciting weekend of sports. Lots of football. We had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all kinds of stuff to talk about. We have great performances. We have injuries. We have quarterback battles. How you doing, Robbie?
I am doing great. Had a really nice weekend. I have been busy at work, but definitely excited that football is back and excited for Overreaction Monday after every single game.
Yeah,
Either everyone's going to the Hall of Fame or they're a bust. There's no in between.
that's right. That's right. What were your big takeaways from the games you did get to watch? I mean, there were just too many of them to watch all of them, but certainly the ones
My,
you got to watch and maybe the highlights.
my theory of players are coming out more prepared for the NFL is holding
Mm-hmm.
true, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm still not a huge fan of playing rookie quarterbacks, I'll tell you, rookies all the way across the board are looking good. They don't look overwhelmed. Um, and it's the time of year where every team thinks they have a chance, and very few teams feel like they're terrible. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a very exciting time for a lot of teams because they've been putting all these draft picks together and assembling their teams and putting together their playbooks. And
Mm-hmm.
to start to see it come together is pretty cool. When the wheels come off for half these teams, it's kind of a sad time, but then you see the really excellent teams taking off, and that's cool too. But this is cool. You get to see all the rookies land on the bad teams and make them better right away with some juice. So a lot of it's attitude. These guys are coming off, national championship teams and MVPs and all that, and they are not used to losing. So they
Mm-hmm.
bring sort of a winning attitude, and that's pretty cool to watch.
What I noticed is the coaches these days get much more out of practice than they do the preseason games.
Yeah.
Every single one of them talk about it, and they even have these inter-team practices, which, by the way, Andy Reid refuses to do. He will not let anybody practice with the Chiefs. He will not give away any plays they're working on. He's probably the only coach that refuses to do it. But most of the teams get much more out of practice than they do preseason games. But preseason games are valuable for one thing, and that is to let the young guys try to make the team, get reps. You're talking rookie quarterbacks. You're talking second and third year quarterbacks who are trying to hang on. You have a guy like Joe Milton, who's gone from, I thought, a pretty impressive couple of performances last year with the Patriots, but clearly he's not the guy there. Now he's over on Dallas, looking really solid in practice every day. The team really likes him. They say he has a stronger arm than Dak Prescott has. And Dak Prescott has missed an average of 5 games a year his entire career, and so Joe Milton's probably going to get some playing time. So
Yeah.
it's that's what I think it's for. It's for the young guys who are either trying to solidify themselves in the league, win a roster spot, young rookies to get reps, those kind of things, and for fans to get excited about their team.
Yeah. Bill Parcells said that you can't win a spot in camp, but you can lose one.
Mm-hmm.
And what he was trying to say is that camp is super important, even though it also doesn't matter at the same time. So it's really important for the players who are right on that bubble, fighting like crazy. They're 1 to 2 years away potentially of really considering starting, but you got to start somewhere. Whether it's, hey coach, put your hand up, and hey coach, I'll return punts. I'll do whatever I can to make this team. You'll stand out more than the guy who's sulking on the bench, not getting reps. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And one way you can tell practice is more important than the preseason games. There's a lot more injuries in practice than there is in preseason
Yeah.
games
Yeah.
because these guys in practice are going all out, and they're having to put in things like the Hutch rule for Hutchison. They're having, Nick Bosa's blowing up every single play in practice.
Yeah.
So you can hear the testimonies from the people that are there that practice these days didn't used to be that way, but practice is way more important in training camp. So,
Although I will say on the other side of that, I've heard a lot over the years from coaches who watch some players who are gamers, and we've talked about this, Tommy, in
mm-hmm.
our rides to work. Some players just ignite when the game begins, and they're mediocre in practice. And there's something about it all being on the line where they take it up a notch. And then there's the reverse. There's the guy who throws a perfect ball in practice every time, perfect dimes falling in, and in the game he falls apart. And that's the stuff you can't predict unless you put the bright lights on and you see them. So I think you find your gamer more quickly in games. Even if it's a preseason game that doesn't matter, you're still seeing the guy running around doing things that he wasn't showing you in practice. So there's that side of it too.
That's true. And then I noticed that even some of the holdouts are coming to practice, whether they're participating or not. They're coming because they're doing the walkthroughs or doing the play installations.
Yeah.
So even the guys who are holding out for new contracts come to practice because it's super, super important this time of year. So,
and there have been years and years of evidence of players gone wrong, going rogue, etc., and it hurts their image. Like they're not a team guy; they just want their money, and nobody wants to be that guy. You could see it on Micah. He wants out of Dallas, but he also wants to be with his team. So he's out there in his street clothes and stuff, but he's doing what he can to not be that guy. So
plus he's doing the walkthroughs so he can see what the installation is. Yeah,
he wants to get paid.
I watched the play and we knew it was going to be vanilla, but it really was vanilla. The games I watched, I mean, they were essentially, the teams were running about 8 plays, both on offense and defense. They don't want to give anything away. They were doing basic off-tackle plays. They were doing basic rollouts, screen plays. You're not going to see anything innovative in preseason. The one thing I would say, though, that was interesting is the one area there was a lot of innovation being shown was in special teams. And the kickoff teams were trying all kinds of new things. They sprung a couple guys for touchdowns. And then got, teams like the Carolina Panthers, who have figured out a whole new way to do kickoffs. I don't know if you noticed this, but every single kickoff they did, they were squibbing it in a way that not only was it hitting the ground right in front of the guy who was supposed to field it, but they were squibbing in a way that it was kind of spinning and it was really hard to field, and it was making the guys lose it and have to dive on it or maybe get 10 yards and lose field position. So they were saying that Panthers had practiced that all summer, trying to find ways to make the kickoffs really hard to field and really difficult to get a return. So kind of cool that you're seeing some innovation on special teams right now.
Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why I sort of scoff at all this, overreaction Monday stuff, because you might see a rookie quarterback who's been heavily covered, whether they fall in the draft or whether they're picked number 1 or whatever. And then they go out and they have a pretty good performance, but not only are they oftentimes playing against backups, but the defensive coordinator is very purposefully not giving away the playbook. They're going to dial up a lot of interesting pressures when it's not on tape. They want it to be a fresh attack. And so these quarterbacks aren't facing the full wrath of a defense. And so it's tempered optimism is the way I would like to look at some of these quarterbacks, whether it's Shedeur or whether Jackson Dart. Let's go slowly here. These are relatively bad teams. These are not the starting quarterbacks. They're young and they have a lot to learn. And they're not seeing, a ferocious attack.
But if you saw some of the throws some of these young guys made into tight windows, you can see why these teams are excited and why their fans are excited, even if it's 2 years from now, 3 years from now.
I agree. Now, the other side of it is
hope,
the other side of it is what you're saying, which is, hey, look, somebody like Shedeur, they didn't give up anything to get him. Like that was tiny bit of draft capital used to get somebody who might end up being maybe second string or, so that's a good value. When you're getting good value out of your 7th round, 5th round, that's when you become a really good team. It's not so much hitting on your 1st round pick. It's can you keep hitting all the way into your late rounds and keep getting value and depth.
I was listening to some of the radio takes to the radio station I used to listen to all the time up in Cleveland when I was in law school up there. And some of the takes they were saying is that they believe this performance and how he's been playing in practice, because he's actually been out dueling most of the guys in practice too.
Yeah. I think he's second string right now.
They say he has now gone from QB4 to QB2
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to end up keeping Gabriel as well. And this gives them license now to go ship out Pickett for like a 6th or 7th round pick.
Mm.
Because you want to clear up the room a little bit. So then you've got, your starter, Joe Flacco, who'll probably play 4, 5, 6 weeks, kind of see what your record is. Then you've got Shedeur, who's solidly the QB2. And then now you've got Dylan Gabriel, also a developmental quarterback, ready to go. So
if it's me, I'm trading Gabriel for something comparable to what I used him for, maybe a little bit lower. The whole goal on picking both those guys was to have one of them win out. And I believe we're watching Shedeur beat out Gabriel.
mm-hmm.
So whether it's fair because Gabriel's a little hurt, I don't know if it's fair. I'm just saying I think that's what's happened and is happening. And so I don't think keeping both is smart. I think
you may not be, but that's what everyone who follows the Browns every single day up there, who are the analysts, think they're going to do. They think they're going to ship Pickett out, and they're going to keep Flacco. He's going to start, and they're going to keep the 2 developmental guys. And just
I think that's dumb because Flacco's so old. You're going to end up having him get a little bit injured, and now you're stuck with 2 rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that to yourself? You could have Pickett mentoring Shedeur, and then you could have Flacco mentoring both of them, and then Flacco will start to take Andy Dalton's type of role with the Carolina Panthers, where he's in charge of keeping the young guy learning.
And there's a team who would ship a 5th round pick for Gabriel right now. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe much higher than that. 3rd round pick, maybe. Yeah. I mean, you could get something close to what you used on him, I think.
Right.
And it's my understanding he hasn't done very well in camp. Like he's coming along slowly. He's a project. He'll be there a year or 2 from now, but he's not ready. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Pickett's injury is something they're afraid is going to be long term, off and on. So anyway,
for sure. Anything else come out of the weekend you want to mention?
Just a whole lot of interesting football with exciting college players that were draft picks and lots of backups.
You had Tanner McKee for the Eagles just completely dominate in that
Go
game.
off. Yeah.
And everyone's wondering whether he's really that good. I mean, there's something like 8 or 9 teams that are calling to see if they can get him and trade for him. Or is it that he is playing with the best roster in football and anybody would look that good with the best roster in football against 3rd stringers? He backs up Jalen Hurts. He's a 2nd-year guy. He was drafted last year.
Yeah, that's right.
And he just had a fantastic day. And people were having similar reactions to him like they did with Shedeur. Like, he's the next coming and move over Jalen Hurts and all this kind of stuff. But apparently there are teams calling to see if there's any way to pry him away from the Eagles. And I don't think they're going to let him go because they need a good backup. So he had a really nice performance. Of course, we already mentioned Joe Milton in Dallas. A lot of people there are pretty excited about him. Think he might be the heir apparent. He's sitting at $2 million a year. You wouldn't be so cap strapped. So,
yeah.
And you mentioned Milton last year that you were impressed.
Good value, yeah. The arm strength is legendary. He was throwing 70-yard bombs without stepping into it. That's incredible.
And then Trey Lance is having a pretty good camp.
Lance looked good.
Like
Milton might have the strongest arm in the NFL.
He might. He's much stronger than Dak Prescott.
I don't know for sure, but I know that he's in there.
Yeah, it looks to me like every team has realized you have to have a 2-headed monster, both at running back and quarterback. You need to have a competent guy who can come in and win you games.
And these young quarterbacks are coming in ready, and so you can kind of trust them with the keys to the car, so to speak.
Let's go look at tonight's material. All right, let's take a moment to do a shout out to our sponsor for tonight, and that is Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is our favorite sub shop. As a matter of fact, I just finished half a number 13 sandwich, and I had the other half last night. So always delighted when I get to have my favorite, which is the original Italian. Robbie, how much do you guys like Jersey Mike's?
Absolutely love it. We came back from the beach last night, and boys were really hungry. And so they wanted to stop at their favorite fast food place, even though we get Jersey Mike's all the time. And I just wasn't in the mood. So I found a Jersey Mike's and had my number 17. And I was so pumped. It was good. It was perfect. After a day at the beach, you're hungry and you want something a little healthier. And, we have one fast food restaurant that we go to sometimes, but we kind of, man, Jersey Mike's, you can't beat it. It's really good. It's great ingredients, hot, they're friendly, and it's affordable, and you're just so full. It's the best.
It's so fresh. The service is so good. They're on time. I love that they make it right in front of you. They ask you what you want on it. So, guys, tonight, go check out jerseymikes.com or check out the Jersey Mike's app or order from DoorDash or Uber Eats or one of them, or go to your local store. There should be one fairly close to where you live, and check out a sub today. And remember,
yeah, we're really proud to partner with them, and it is a sub above.
It's a sub above. Have a good night. So this is our weekend recap, August 11th, 2025 NFL camp update. So we're going to give you a lot of updates out of camp today. Just wanted to call out our father, William Pope. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Dad.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dad.
Really happy to take him for his birthday dinner this weekend. Really had a great time. So hope you're having a great day, Dad. And we'll talk to you soon.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing I wanted to mention was Cam Little hits the all-time NFL field goal record.
That's my background.
Broke it by 3 yards. What did you think about this 70-yard kick? I don't care if it's preseason or not. That
was incredible.
Unbelievable. And
it.
It would have been good from 73.
Yeah.
So what do you think this says about some of the young kickers coming out? These guys can really bash the ball.
I think it goes to when we had that episode about kicking. I think we talked about how they're maybe not as accurate, but they can all boom them. Like they can kick them as far as ever.
And Jackson mentioned this when he was on the episode about the young guys are really, really big legs.
Yeah, it's like in golf. They're getting further and further drives, but not necessarily more accurate. They're just getting much more intensely powerful.
What's amazing is he is kind of a spindly guy. He didn't at all look like somebody who could kick at 70. I mean, he just blew that kick. It was incredible. I mean, what was cool to watch them absolutely swarm him, all his teammates.
Yeah.
Like it was a Super Bowl.
Went crazy.
Yeah. That was super cool. What a cool moment.
It was.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying watching these kickers getting better and better. So the next story out of the gate, this was probably the biggest story of the weekend. Shedeur Sanders on Friday night takes down my Carolina Panthers. Of course, he was mostly playing second and third string defense, but played really well, made some great throws in tight windows, 2 touchdowns, made a lot of good decisions. He did take 2 sacks he shouldn't have taken, and he did throw a couple errant balls into the ground. But for the most part, if you really analyze his film, it was kind of a B+, A- type performance. And people weren't sure he was kind of capable of this after his slipping in the draft. They weren't sure what he was going to look like. So I think overall he's got to be pleased. Browns have got to be pleased. The fans have to be pleased. But the talking about him as QB1 and being the second coming, I think it's a little much.
It's a little much. I think for a rookie, that's an A. I always make fun of the overreaction Monday, so there's been a lot of that. But I will say you have to give some credit here. Without all the hysteria that I'm seeing, he had a nice job. Like if he had thrown 3 picks and done a bunch of stuff, they would have said, this is why he's a bust and all this other stuff. That means, hey, some good stuff happened because of him, 2 touchdowns and stuff. You give credit and you move forward. You don't overdo it with the he should be the starter stuff. But
now I will say he took two bad sacks, but he also spun out of multiple sacks that he should have been sacked and spun out of them. And I knew that he could run a little bit. I knew he was a little bit shifty. I knew he wasn't his father in terms of speed, but he can run a little more than I thought he could. He's got some mobility. So, Knew he had an arm, knew he could play, but I wasn't sure about the
Yeah.
mobility. But I think he's going to be okay. I mean, he can get out of the pocket when he needs to.
Oh, I think he's gonna be fine. He's accurate. He's very athletic, so he can get away from a lot of painful situations.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just see if under pressure he makes mistakes or not. But he's a coach's son. He's the son of
Mm-hmm.
one of the greatest players of all time, which doesn't really tell you very much about him, but it tells you what he grew up watching and thinking about and
I
looking
will
at.
say I really liked his post-game interview. It was so much better than in his interviews when he was going through the draft process, which by the way, were a complete disaster.
Yeah.
But his post-game interview, I don't know if he's had somebody working with him, but he essentially said, I give myself about a C plus. I have a lot to work on. I have a long way to go. But he said the thing that's most important to me is, although it's preseason, that we got the win. That's really all I
Yeah.
care about. I just want to put up W's in my career. And I really liked that, the way he handled that, and was humble, but said, it's about the team, not about me. So,
Yeah, I think he's gotten humbled with the overall experience following the draft and all that. And so now I'm kind of rooting for him, and I think he is pretty able to handle the spotlight. And some negative light got put on him, and I think he's very graciously working his way through that.
I think so too. We'll see where it goes. I think he is going to end up being QB2 coming out of camp. And then we'll see how long Flacco can go. And I mean, if Flacco goes 0-5 or something, then Cleveland's going to be going crazy. Put in Shedeur.
I don't think Flacco's going to end up getting Shedeur put in because of play. I think Shedeur might go in because Flacco gets hurt.
Injury.
But yeah, but I don't think Flacco having some bad games is going to mean Shedeur goes in.
That's right. So next guy to talk about, we were just mentioning Tanner McKee for the Eagles, the backup for Jalen Hurts. They weren't sure how he was going to look. He was drafted last year in the 7th round. He's really kind of a project, and the Eagles have been working really intensely with him in the offseason, and he looked absolutely fantastic. I mean, some people think he looked better than Shedeur. He was really sharp, 2 touchdowns, 150 yards passing, no turnovers, knew the playbook, threw the ball on time every single time, and really looked like a solid, if not QB1, QB2. So thoughts about Tanner's performance and other NFL clubs trying to call and see if they can pry him away.
Well, there's currently no team in the NFL that's taking more successful route in the draft, able to get good veteran free agents, and then turning them over to coaches that are developing as much as the Eagles.
I mean, how do they do it?
They're the gold standard.
Yeah.
It starts with the way their organization is running, and then it ends with their coaching and the way their players hold each other accountable. And that organization is doing it right now in every facet.
Like, don't you agree that most teams would have taken this 7th round guy? He wouldn't look this good at this point, like a Brock Purdy.
Right.
But the Eagles and a couple of others know how to develop their guys.
There's a real benefit to running your organization in the right way, is that everybody has excellence. Everybody starts to rise to the top of what they're capable of. Your backups, your third string corners, like everybody starts to play a little better because they're watching greatness all around them, and they're bringing out greatness out of themselves. And so winning organizations start to get the ball rolling like that, and they start to have backup quarterbacks that no one's heard of playing out of their minds,
And now if Jalen Hurts gets a high ankle sprain, he's out for 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They can feel confident with that roster and this guy throwing dimes.
Yeah.
They can win some games.
Yeah. So, they can win, a good percentage of them.
Yeah. That's right. Same thing with Shedeur. I mean, if he gets some more playing time, which he will in the preseason, if Flacco has to go out for a game or 2, they can be confident they'll at least be in the game.
Yeah.
So next guy to talk about is in Dallas. He's the other guy who had a nice performance. That was Joe Milton. And he's been one of the most solid performers in camp. And a lot of the receivers have been kind of privately on the side talking about this guy. Like, he's a tremendous arm talent, and he's showing a lot in camp. And so, again, Dallas can feel good that if Dak does go out, which he usually does for a couple games here and there, that Joe Milton can go in and kind of keep the
Do you
ship.
remember what round Milton was picked in?
I think it was 5th or 6th.
I think it was 6th or 7th. Can you imagine how much better Atlanta would be if they had gotten, some incredible edge rusher or something,
And then pick
and
Joe
they got
Milton.
Milton in the 7th?
Yeah, that's
You know,
right. Yeah.
you want a quarterback in a quarterback-rich draft. You don't have to give up your first-round pick for it.
Why do you think they went Drake May instead of Joe Milton in New England? And what was the
Well,
decision?
I don't have any idea about that, but I think May had better film at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was saying is Atlanta was last in the NFL in defense.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to give up your first round pick as a quarterback when you have Kirk Cousins coming in. Like that wasn't smart. In a quarterback heavy draft, you could get one in the late rounds and get a real stud on defense in the early rounds and be a much better team because of it.
Don't you think it's true that it's really unlikely for most clubs to have a starter play all 17 games? It just doesn't happen anymore. There's always one or two games that get hobbled.
Very
And
few.
so these 3 guys are the insurance policy for their teams.
That's right. Well, we'll see about Shedeur.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to build that guy up in QB2 so he's ready to go. Yeah. Literally, it could be like the 5th snap of the game. Got to be ready.
But this is the stuff you don't want to overreact to because Milton's been around now a couple years. Shedeur just got there, so I don't think he's in the same category as the other guys.
McKee's in his 2nd year in his 2nd preseason, so he's had a little bit more experience. So yeah.
But I am rooting for Shedeur. I'm just saying he's solidified absolutely nothing at this point.
Right.
He's on the right track.
So the next big story coming out of the weekend was Parsons is still on the lam and unsigned and has made a little bit less noise this week, but is still saying he wants out. And Jerry Jones is saying that he's not going anywhere. So we're still at an impasse. Do you think this lasts all the way through camp? And do you think he's going to play on week 1?
I think he's going to play because Jerry Jones pays his stars. And he's got egg on his face from Dak, the Dak contract. He paid the heck out of CeeDee Lamb. I think he's going to pay Parsons, and it's going to be destroy his team doing it. But I think that's the kind of mistake he makes.
Do you think he plays week 1?
I think so.
And you think this is kind of a sneaky way for Parsons to just not be part of camp and not have to play in preseason?
Well, he has to apply pressure or it doesn't work.
Right.
So I know Parsons doesn't want to go that route, but he has to.
He's already been paid in the top 10.
He's under contract. Like he should be there. He should participate.
Mm-hmm. I happen to agree with you. I think he will at this point. He's going to end up with Dallas and he's going to play week 1. I agree with you. And he might get signed like 3 days before week 1 or something. I think it's going to be really late in the cycle.
Yeah.
We'll see. So the other holdout is McLaurin. Lots of good signs coming out of Washington this week that they're very close. We're down to the last couple of details and that it looks like it is going to get done. They're hoping to get him into the game in week 3 of the preseason so he gets a little bit of live action. So it feels like his contract's a little bit closer than Parsons, but that he's going to end up probably missing this week as well. Thoughts about McLaurin and whether he's going to come on home?
I think the pressure of the Eagles having their house in order, having guys like McKee demonstrating that 2 and 3 deep at every position they are loaded and performing. Mm-hmm. It puts pressure on your conference mates to get their act in line and
Washington look at themselves as a playoff contender.
Get your good players in camp and get them in line with your quarterback and just get going. You don't want to be in the same division with a high performing team that's not having these contract problems. Mm-hmm. And clearly these GMs are thinking, we got to do something quick.
I think this might even get done like at the end of this week, and you may see him play 5 or 6 plays this weekend coming up on Saturday. We'll see. I'm really hopeful for this one to get done. So another story we're going to talk about is, I'm not sure, Robbie, if we truly appreciate the kind of numbers Ohtani's putting up early in his career. He's essentially slightly ahead of Babe Ruth in every category at this same stage and in the same number of games. And you're talking about he's going against way better pitching as a hitter, and he's going against way better hitting as a pitcher. I mean, way better.
Yeah.
And so do you think we're seeing the generational talent we think it is? I know it's early. We don't want a Monday morning quarterback, but I mean, he's put up 4 solid years, and we're seeing
it's unbelievable. The only trick is it possible that he starts to have some kind of injury problems? I mean, he's had some little injuries, but that start to make his performance suffer. But there's no doubt what we're watching is almost unprecedented. Like it's that special. So then it just comes down to whether you're able to continue to see this level and maybe even have it rise and get better.
And also, what kind of numbers can he put up in the next 10 years? Can he just keep
are we looking at a 15-year career?
Yeah.
Or is he like taper off after 1 or 2 more?
Because he won't catch Babe with his all-time numbers unless he has at least 10 to 12 more years.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's remarkable what he's doing, and we should be celebrating it as baseball fans.
It's very special. Yeah. This is once-in-a-lifetime player right here.
It is.
It's not exaggerating.
All right, so let's look at some of the big headlines coming out of training camp. Baker Mayfield and Micah Parsons burn Titans. Pretty cool to see this rookie already stepping up the way he is. And, of course, they have some wide receivers that are injured right now. They have one that's on the PUP list. So Egbuka, as a rookie, is going to have to step right in and be the other guy on the other side of Mike Evans. And, of course, Baker has been really cooking the last 2 seasons, really playing well. So any surprise that these two are already hooking up?
No, I talked about him in our draft episode. Yeah. Egbuka has been one I've had my eye on the whole time. So I'm not surprised about him. I think Mayfield's a great quarterback for him. Mike Evans is the most consistent wide receiver over the last 3 or 4 years in the league.
And don't you think Evans makes Egbuka better and Egbuka makes Evans better? Like they make each other better.
I think Egbuka shows he can hang, and Evans is going to make him better over time for sure in multiple ways. He's going to mentor him. He's also going to be taking a lot of pressure off him on his side. So I think he's just a real good player. He broke records at Ohio State that I documented in our episodes. It's not a surprise that he is so ready for the NFL. He's been ready for a while.
He was impressive with Ohio State in their run last year.
Yep.
Pretty cool to see. Drake May connects with Stefon Diggs. That connection is starting to really heat up. Of course, Diggs is a new signee by the Patriots this year. And already May and Diggs look like they're going to be the favorite connection for the Patriots this year. Of course, the Patriots have been really devoid of weapons for a long time. So I'm sure May is really happy to have a big-time receiver. Any thoughts about this connection?
Yeah, I think it's still too early to say whether May is going to make that leap. I think he was kind of given a free pass for a rookie last year. I think Stefon Diggs does great when he's doing great, and then wheels come off sometimes. So
yeah, he kind of sulks sometimes when he's not getting the ball.
Yeah, we'll see. But I like when guys get a second chance and it works out. So
he makes the Patriots better, and they haven't had a lot of weapons, and so they really needed him. So
the young quarterback always needs his guy, So
I love to see that connection's coming along. James Cook continues to sit out Bill's practice, although he's going to practice, very similar to the other holdouts, and he goes and he does the walkthroughs and he watches and he listens on the headphones, and he's really trying to participate other than anything physical, because of course he's also waiting for his deal as well. So all 3 of our major holdouts are still holding out. You think that deal gets done at some point?
I think so. I think he's so important to the overall health of the team, in terms of moving the ball down the field, because the alternative is run Josh Allen a lot more and you will eventually get him hurt. And
They
when Josh
looked so
Allen
much
gets hurt,
better.
the Bills are done.
They looked so much better last year when they have an actual running back, and that Josh Allen,
Exactly.
not the running back.
Exactly.
They look so much better. It's true.
Josh Allen reminds me of Cam Newton, and he's great while he's great. But if you don't run the ball well, Cam was at his best when they were running well, and they could attack you through the air or pounding the ball.
He's really Cam Newton, but he's a better thrower. That's the way.
But he's a better thrower.
Yeah.
And I think he's a better leader. I think he's a better his teammates rally around him.
Yeah, Cam's height, he probably was a little bit better runner. I mean, he was unstoppable at the goal line. So, but
yeah, at the goal line, there's nobody who's been like Cam except maybe the Eagles with the tush push. But
so the next one is 49ers. Brock Purdy likes the real looks he's getting as Nick Bosa keeps wreaking havoc in the backfield. So he basically was saying, look, Nick Bosa is unblockable even in practice, but I like it because it's giving me real looks. It's giving me real pressure that I have to deal with as I'm trying to unload the ball. So do you think that helps Purdy go into the season? Because he's not going to see a lot of guys like Nick Bosa.
There's no doubt when you play against the best, it helps you prepare for the good teams. You've seen it before, so
it's kind of like live fire he's getting in practice.
I think people have misunderstood how good Brock Purdy is.
Oh, he's very good.
I think they look at big numbers his first season and just thought it was lucky kind of.
You know what? He's pretty athletic. Like they don't talk about his
very
running.
athletic.
He can run the ball.
He's quick-footed. He's very smart. He doesn't make big mistakes. You can't teach that very much. I mean,
well, he's probably still thinking about the Super Bowl 2 years ago when he had to face Chris Jones. And Chris Jones and Nick Bosa are kind of cut out of the same cloth.
Yeah, they're unstoppable.
Game wreckers. Yeah. Next one is Shedeur Sanders makes Browns debut against the Panthers, throwing for 138 and 2 touchdowns. I think we kind of beat this one up to death, but obviously we both think it was a very impressive first performance for Shedeur. He's never played in an NFL game before, and he was playing second stringers, but really helped his resume for sure, whether he ends up on the Browns or somebody else. We shall see.
There were a couple of stats that were interesting in that game. The first downs, Cleveland had 20, Carolina 13, and rushing first downs were 11-1. So Cleveland really had a nice attack.
His 2 touchdowns were impressive, but I again thought the 2 times that he squiggled out of the what looked like a sure sack and was going back and forth and ends up turning both of those plays into positive yardage. I was like, that was almost more impressive than the throws, because I really had no idea if Shedeur was going to be a statue or if he really could move around. And he can move. He's got some of that Russell Wilson.
I've been impressed with his decision making and his throwing. Pretty good.
Yeah, but see, I knew he was a good thrower. I saw that. What I didn't see is what we saw in those 2 plays.
I didn't. I saw kind of erratic throwing in college.
He has some elusiveness.
The tape I saw, he was kind of erratic.
Yeah.
But I like what I'm seeing in the pros. He's very much taking the coaching.
So Mike Florio is reporting here that Jerry Jones is being stubborn on the Micah deal and that he has his bat signal up for a Micah deal. He really thinks, Mike does, that Micah's going to get dealt in the next 2 weeks. So I found that kind of interesting that Mike Florio, and he has his ear to the ground more than any of us do. He's got inside information. He really feels like this deal is not going to get done.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's shipped. So
I wouldn't overpay him. So I would deal him also. I'd rather have picks.
So he might go to a contender. You might see him on the Bills, or you might see him. I don't know where he's going to go, but maybe the Broncos. But that's what Mike Florio thinks. You and I think he's going to get signed, but we'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, though. I wouldn't sign him.
Yeah.
For the amount he's asking for.
The next one is paying Terry McLaurin is risky. Not paying him is even riskier.
Yeah, you have to.
I think so. I really agree with that, because I think he's not like a guy who's disliked, like George Pickens last year. when he went to the Cowboys this year, everyone in the Steelers locker room, they wouldn't say it out loud, but
Yeah, they'll help him pack.
they
Yeah,
were indicating that he was very difficult. And by the way, he
yeah,
wouldn't listen to Mike Tomlin, apparently. He would just ignore him.
yeah,
So, that's not going to do very much in Mike Tomlin's locker room. He's out of
yeah.
here. So I think McLaurin's the opposite kind of guy. He's a locker room guy. He's a player's guy. And the coaches love him. So I think,
Yeah,
I
you got
think
to pay him. I mean, you have a quarterback on a rookie deal. You have to pay your superstar wide receiver who represents everything positive in a locker room where you're trying to build a new culture.
so. This next one was amazing and also somewhat depressing for those of us who love the Commanders. And that is the Giants defensive front led by Brian Burns, Thibodeau, who was their draftee 2 years ago, Robertson Harris, and Abdul Carter generated consistent pressure. And I'm just trying to imagine the quarterbacks that have to face the Giants this year with these four guys in your face every play. It's just going to be crazy. They have so many pass rushers.
It kind of resembles that Super Bowl front line that
Doesn't it?
really was unstoppable.
They won 2 Super Bowls with their defensive line, essentially. So, how are you going to block all these guys? You can't, right?
You can't. You have to do plays that are quick hits, draws, screens. You have to do plays that kind of work against this kind of aggressive attack.
They said they have lineups where they're going to put a nose tackle in and then put these four guys on the field all together, pass rushing, like on passing downs. It's just a nightmare. You don't have enough tackles, So I'm kind of looking forward to watching this, but not as a Commanders fan. So going to be fun to watch. Next one is kind of interesting, Robbie. We met Stetson Bennett's brother down in Amelia Island. He diced up the Cowboys defense in a preseason victory, playing with confidence and swagger.
Yeah, I was happy. I was happy for him.
This is a guy in his third year. He was stored on the practice squad for 2 seasons, and they finally have brought him up, and they're going to put him on the active roster. And they say he's going to make the roster, and he's going to back up Stafford, of course. But
Yeah,
thoughts about Stetson Bennett in his third season, finally starting to get a little playing time?
I'm happy for him. He's had a nice progression of just sitting and watching and learning and being mentored, and that's how you do it. Ideally, in a perfect world, you don't force rookies in that so they're seeing things they've never seen before. You don't force them into duty before they're ready. I mean, I never would play a rookie quarterback pretty much unless I had to. I'm sitting him the whole first year no matter what, just like Patrick Mahomes and all the other success
But
stories.
and the Rams are another team like the Eagles and a couple of others. They really develop their players well.
Yeah,
And I have to think Stetson Bennett likely to get some action this year. I mean, Stafford always misses a couple games.
probably. Yeah,
He'll probably get some action this year.
he always has some back problems and stuff like that.
So they got to get him ready. So I was happy to see that. NFL preseason week 1 takeaways. Quinn Ewers struggled mightily in the Dolphins debut. Any thoughts about that? He had been playing so well in practice, and really they had been very high on him and how he'd looked this year. But he was, I think it was 4 for 15, had a couple, 2 fumbles, I think it was. Was this just jitters, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was jitters. He had been doing so well. I think the expectations got a little high. It's back to that Monday morning quarterback stuff where you overreact too much to the positive and then you set the standard too high. Like I think this is going to happen to Shedeur. First time Shedeur has a bad struggle game, probably next game, everyone's going to say, "Oh, he's terrible." So
I wouldn't worry about Ewers too much. He's looked
no,
really good.
this
And
is
by the
actually
way,
a blessing. Ewers can stay on the bench and not be called for by the crowd and can just slowly learn. He's older. He's mature. He'll
but
listen
also
to
they
the
have
coaching.
Wilson. They have Wilson who has a lot more experience.
Yeah,
And
this is
so Quinn
right
Ewers is
here what I'm
QB3.
talking about.
Yeah, he's
The
QB3.
ideal is to have somebody Flacco's age, Pickett's age, and then a rookie. That's the ideal. Is
And
to
that's
have
what the
3
Dolphins have.
different age groups
That's what the
in your
Dolphins have.
quarterback.
So if
Yeah,
Tua gets hurt, they're going to put in Wilson, and he's
yeah.
fine. He's been a
Yeah, it's
starter.
like Wilson's like third or fourth year or whatever.
And then you keep bringing Ewers along in practice. And
Yeah.
second half of the year, he's feeling really comfortable. If he has to play, he has to play.
There's zero pressure to play Ewers. Zero.
Right. That's true. So next one is there's a Packers mock trade proposal on the table, apparently, and it's actually been discussed for Parsons. And this would be Packers 2026 first rounder, 2027 first rounder, and Romeo Doubs for Parsons. So would you do that if you're the Cowboys? You wouldn't have to pay the $35 million a year. You get two first round picks and Romeo Doubs.
Yeah. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm doing that.
I'm going to say, where do I sign?
Yeah.
Are you
Because
kidding?
Parsons is under contract, so I'm not going to buckle.
And you can run right at him. He's not even a run stuffer.
The problem is, what if there's no market for Parsons? Like, what if nobody's that interested at that price?
I can't imagine paying
What do you do?
first round picks. I would not pay two for first round pick. I know he's a great player, but this seems
I would do it if I was Dallas. I wouldn't do it if I was the Packers.
Absolutely.
The Packers have a nice organization. They don't need to give up their future for Micah Parsons.
If I'm Stephen Jones, I say, where do I sign?
I would give up one first round and one second round, maybe. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But if I could go with a second round next year and then a first round the following year, that's not destroying your organization.
That's right. So another one here, this was pretty cool. Treveyon Henderson with the Patriots, and he's one of the few guys who's actually returned an opening kickoff in preseason so far. And you and I watched that replay together, and we were stunned. He was like barely touched. He made two really nice cuts to the end zone.
Treveyon Henderson is going to be a contributor right away.
He's going to be a problem.
He's just going to be one of these all utility guys. He had one rush for 18 yards, 3 receptions for 12 yards, and a 100-yard touchdown return.
Apparently, they plan to
contribute all over the field.
Apparently, they plan to line him up on the other side of Stephon Diggs as a wide receiver. They plan to line him up in the backfield, and he's going to be the kickoff returner all season. So he's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah,
he's going to play everything.
That's when you have a nice career.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm a fan of Treveyon. I'm glad he's having success. It's pretty cool. So this was the Cam Little field goal. That's your background, but an incredible preseason feat. Any idea how this goes down in the record books? I mean, I know it's not a regular season game. Do they put an asterisk next to it and say this was in preseason, or is it counted just like a regular season kick?
I don't know. I think you got a bunch of guys on defense trying to make their team. It's not like they're going to be not rushing as hard as they possibly can.
I think they're always going to have a little asterisk next to it saying it was in preseason.
I wouldn't put it in.
I don't think they should. But I think they will.
I'm considering that the greatest kick of all time.
Me too. although if it was in the Super Bowl, it'd have even more importance. But
true. I mean, you could make it count more, but what a feat kicking it 70 yards in the air.
It's unbelievable. It was. I don't know. I'm going to be watching to see how they show this in the record books, if there's a little asterisk next to it.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to, but I just see it as a special thing that's never happened before.
Right. Let's look at some of the injuries. Matt Stafford with his back. He went to a back specialist recently. They're pretty confident he will be there for week 1, but I'm not totally sure. They said he's going to need regular back treatment the entire season. He's trying to avoid surgery. Are you feeling kind of nervous if you're a Rams fan?
Yeah.
He just seems very limpy going into the season.
Yeah, it's you don't want to start out this way. What do you think they're going to get better? You think?
I mean, if you're trying to avoid surgery,
healthier?
It just doesn't feel like. Yeah, he's going to get absolutely hammered. So,
I think he's almost done, and it's too bad because I think he's really good.
He is very good. Yeah, I'm concerned about this for him because I'm a fan of his. Anthony Richardson dislocates his finger.
Mm-hmm.
They have said that he will miss at least week 1 and maybe week 2, so he's not going to be ready for the regular season. Of course, they did bring in Daniel Jones, so they have a guy to plug in right away. But thoughts about Richardson always getting hurt. This is the 3rd season in a row. He just can't stay healthy. Is it just a bad luck thing,
I
or
think
what?
this is bad luck, but I think the smart move is to keep him sitting down and let Daniel Jones play anyway.
I would have played Jones anyway. I mean, I
Yeah.
think you have a better shot with him, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you want Jones to mentor Tyler Warren a little bit.
But at some point, don't you need to know what you have with Richardson? Like finally, whether you're going to cut him one day.
Not necessarily. I mean, did you have to know what you had with
I mean, you spent a first round pick on him. He's the number 4 pick in the draft. I mean, I don't know. You got to know at some point if he can play in the NFL.
You wouldn't have Trey Lance playing well now in the preseason and possibly getting his number 2 slot if you gave up on him quickly because he was kind of flailing around and not doing well. You got to give some of these guys, especially at quarterback, you got to give them a few years.
Well, Rob, they never should have given up 3 first round picks to go up.
No question.
6 spots to get Trey Lance when he'd only
No.
played one year in college. He had no experience.
No, I know. But once you made the mistake and he's on your roster.
He's actually starting to learn to play the game now. Like
now for the first time.
Yeah. So
I mean, Brady started really executing well when he got into his 5th, 6th year. It takes time. Not everybody gets it quickly. Some do, but most don't. And so when you see Trey Lance, you see a guy that has hung in there.
Do you think Richardson is a bust?
I think it's too early to say. I see Trey Lance. I see you just don't know. I think he should not be the starter until he looks better. But you know, he needs to keep learning. I don't think you can rally your whole team around a guy that's so erratic and not ready for the starting role.
Right. So another one is Spears for the Titans. His ankle, he rolled it over. Likely to be ready for week 1. So you've seen a lot of these things happen in practice. Najee Harris with his eye. He's got a real bad eye injury. He's wearing a patch over it. They're going to save him out the rest of preseason and hope that he's ready for week 1. So really unfortunate there because they're looking for him to be a real rotational player for them. Joe Mixon for the Texans. His ankle/foot is hurt. Same thing. They're going to hold him out the rest of camp. Jaden Reed for the Packers. He was actually getting his foot tested. They found out it is not fractured, but it's pretty badly bruised. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Unlikely he'll make week 1. But Packers are loaded with receivers, so they should be okay. Khalil Shakir with the Bills. He had a great season last year. He also has a rolled over ankle. Hoping they can get him into shape for week 1. Juwan Jennings has a calf. It's a kind of nagging calf injury. They don't think it's serious. So they're just precautionary, keeping him out. Justin Jefferson with his hamstring. They're hoping this won't be a nagging injury all year and that it's just a precautionary thing at this point. Probably wasn't going to play in preseason anyway.
That's the thing too. Like, it's hard to get a real read on this. If you have the slightest hamstring pull and you're Justin Jefferson, they want to sit you, so they're just looking for a reason.
True.
I'm not saying he's not hurt, but
some of these injuries though are concerning because they can be nagging, So when you're a wide receiver and you're having ankle injuries, or when you're a running back and you have a calf or whatever, it's concerning. You want to go in healthy because you're going to get banged up during the year. So wide receiver with a hamstring, not a good thing. Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay, is on the PUP list and is going to be on the PUP list for a while. They think he'll come back by week 5. So the good news is they got Ibuka, who can step right into that role with Tampa Bay. Malik Neighbors has a shoulder injury. They think he will be ready to suit up on week 1, but they're going to hold him out. Ricky Pearsall with a hamstring. He's on the PUP list. He will not make week 1. He'll be out for at least a game or 2. With his hamstring injury, they're resting it up. Jake Ferguson has a back injury, so they've had to bring in a couple of other kickers just in case that he's not ready to go for week 1. This was a huge one. I couldn't believe it. Isaiah Likely, foot fracture, out until probably the playoffs. He's trying to avoid surgery, so they have it in a cast. But you saw how good he got last year. He's a huge part of their offense. So
yeah, he was awesome.
I know Lamar must be just heartsick with this one. This happened in practice, and it happened in a non-contact injury when he was planting, trying to make a cut. and boom, foot collapsed on him. So I'm sad to see that when it happens in practice. Cade Otton has a hamstring he's dealing with the Bucks. Rashawn Slater is out for the season.
Yeah, that was devastating.
Probably the most devastating injury so far in camp.
Devastating because that team is predicated on a bulldozer offensive line.
Exactly. And so now Joe Alt's had to move over to the left.
Which he'll be fine, but it gives up a lot on the right side, you know?
Exactly. Yep. Xavier McKinney with a calf, Packers. Mikael Williams, who was the great draft pick for the 49ers, is having a knee issue, hoping that he can heal up for week 1. Deion Bush for the Chiefs tore his Achilles and out for the season. He's a safety for the Chiefs, and he was a big part of their plans this year. Really a shame that something like that happens before the season even starts. Ward finds rhythm on the Titans' second drive in the preseason debut. So I thought that was really cool to see that Ward was really, really effective in the preseason. What do you think about Ward?
I think he's going to be great.
Think he's going to be everything that we thought he was going to be?
Yeah. Yeah, he's excellent. He's working really hard, too. He goes into the building at 4 a.m., and he tells everyone else on the team, you need to get in here at 4 a.m. He's a worker.
He's a worker.
He is the kind of guy you want on your team, period.
You know what? He's a good leader, too.
Yeah, well, that is leadership.
He has a leadership capability, yeah. Travis Hunter debuts himself on offense and returned on defense versus Pitt. He had about the same number of snaps on offense and defense. Do you think that's going to be sustainable throughout the year? Do you think he's going to be mixed in more on defense or on offense?
No, I think they're going to have him on offense and then defensive packages.
Oh, you think so?
I think he needs to play more on offense.
Okay.
They're going to run the ball at him a lot if he's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a lot of run defense, which is tough on corners. Could potentially get them hurt.
So you think he's more of a receiver this year and part-time?
He's a receiver, and he's going to play on nickel downs.
Okay. Bryce Young to first-round rookie, a sign of good things to come. This was his amazing throw to Ted McMillan. It was really cool to see. So what do you think about that connection? Is that can be big this year?
I think McMillan's headed for a really nice first year. He's a big receiver. He's real exciting. He's got great hands. It's going to be I'm so glad that the Panthers got him.
Me too. He's really awesome. Maurice Morris Jr. shares good news after he was taken off the field. He was carted off. At first he wasn't moving at all, and they thought he might have broken one of his vertebrae and all these things. None of that was true. It was just a really severe concussion, and he's going to be in concussion protocol for a long time. He was very sore as well. But this was about as good news as you can get after what was a really scary hit in the preseason game. So I'm really happy to see that Norris is not seriously hurt, worse than he could have been.
Yeah, that was a blessing.
And then Raiders' Lonnie Johnson suffered a broken fibula at practice. Oh, my goodness. So he's going to be out for the season as well. Broken fibula. Whew.
Football is brutal for injuries.
So what are your thoughts? Does this seem like more than normal? Is this normal? And why is this happening mostly in practice?
I think since they've knocked down the number of preseason games, they have to go a little harder, a little more intensely with the tiny bit of work that they can get in. And so I don't think it's more than normal, but this is a lot of stars and stuff. But there are a decent amount of linemen that are injured and a decent amount of all levels of playing. So I don't think it's more than normal, but it's a pretty healthy amount of injuries.
It's probably not more normal, but it just seems like a lot of stars are really hobbled right now. And I don't know.
Although I will say that there's not a whole lot of season-ending injuries or anything. It's not like that. There are some, but not a lot of them.
I don't know what you can do to prevent this. I mean, these guys, they've got chefs at home. They've got trainers. They
No,
take
it's
care
football.
of
There's nothing you can do to prevent it.
Yeah. There's going to be freak situations like Rashawn Slater. It's just going to happen. And that's football. So unfortunate. Let's look at some of the scores. Lions beat the
And
Falcons.
and by the way, real quick, that's exactly why you want to have a situation like the Eagles and the Lions, because the depth that you have to have in this league that's really hard to acquire in a salary cap league really separates the cream of the crop, which is the GMs that can build talent in the 6th and 7th round of the draft and make starters out of these guys and pick properly and not keep whiffing on your first round pick. And um, the depth is so necessary because of those injuries.
It's
If
true.
there weren't those injuries, you could just build a starting lineup and that would be enough.
Very true. Very true. So Lions pick off the Falcons in a kind of an uninspiring game. Um, really, pretty much no offensive starters played on the offensive side on either side of the ball. So not really a lot you can take away from this game other than we're real happy that Norris is okay. Browns, Panthers. The Panthers on their first two drives were very effective, especially the second drive where Bryce Young led them down the field for their only touchdown. Looked really sharp in that drive. And so, I assume if they had played every drive of the game, they would have been looking pretty good.
It was
Browns,
also Cleveland had 125 yards rushing and the Panthers only had 50
that's true.
or 40. Sorry. So,
but again, when the starters
Browns were able to run the ball.
But when the starters were in the first period, the Panthers won the game. So we'll see.
Yeah, true.
And Shedeur had his nice game, of course. Commanders get absolutely blown out by the Patriots. Again, didn't play any of their starters. Jaden Daniels is actually not going to play at all in the preseason. So they play a little bit of Zach Ertz and a little bit of starters, but here and there. But for the most part, you're looking at all second and third stringers. So some teams take the preseason seriously and some do not. The Patriots take it very seriously because they got a lot of young guys, and they needed to see Drake May get some significant action. So I don't take a lot from some of these results because, again, some teams put a lot more into it than others.
I think it goes back to you can not win a position, but you can lose one. I think that speaks to how important it is for the guys that do go out there and try and make it happen.
True. Ravens beat the Colts. Of course, Jones played because Richardson had dislocated his finger in practice, and Colts fans were bemoaning how can they continue to be in this horrific quarterback situation every single year, because they were talking about he was 10 for 21 and he was incredibly ineffective. And they're like, how can we just every year we have a pretty good roster and we just get ourselves in these situations where we don't have a bona fide starter. So already they're upset with Jones, and they hadn't, season hadn't started yet. So what are your thoughts about the Colts? Are they going to be competitive at all this year?
Not really. I was looking at their they're just not very good on either side of the ball.
Yeah.
They're just not good enough.
And they have their starting running back hurt right now. It's just
they did get some picks. They got some interceptions, but I love Tyler Warren. I think that was an incredible pickup for them.
Yeah, he's great.
Their quarterback situation is dicey, and they just don't have a strong part of the team. That they're not great on defense. They're not great on offense.
So is Warren going to have a worse year than he could have had because of the quarterback situation? Is that
absolutely
possible? Yeah, I think so.
No question.
Unfortunately for him.
The heart of the team is probably the defensive secondary.
Right.
It's like probably the best part of the team.
So probably the best game of the entire weekend was the Eagles-Bengals because both of them played a lot of their starters. I know Joe Burrow played almost the entire first quarter. He had 2 touchdowns, one to Jamar Chase. And then, as we talked about, Tanner McKee played fantastic the entire game. And really, Cooper DeJean had a nice game. So all these guys really showed up, and it felt like a regular season game compared to most of them.
You know what surprised me? I think of the Eagles as having a very good defense, especially good young guys, University of Georgia players all over the place. And then the Bengals, I don't think of them as a good defense, but I do think that they have, some pass rush capabilities. and yet very little pressure on either quarterback, on either side. So I think the defenses really left a lot to be desired in both sides of that game.
You know what's amazing is you can see the headline here: Super Bowl champion Eagles tush push play helped secure the game, and essentially they went for it on 4th and 1 right near the end of the game. If they hadn't gotten a 4th and 1, they would have given the Bengals the ball at midfield with like a minute 30 left, and the Bengals could have tied it up. And
Yeah.
and so what happened was you're wondering if Tanner McKee could run the tush push, and he did successfully. They got like 3 yards. And so it's not just Jalen Hurts that can run it. This team, I don't know what it is about the Eagles. They run that place so well.
Did you see Burrow in that game?
Yeah, I did. It was fantastic.
He was 9 of 10, 2 touchdowns, no picks.
He was fantastic. Yeah.
He's a machine.
He's great.
Who's a better quarterback than Joe Burrow in the NFL?
He's just amazing. He really is.
I don't know that I'd put anyone higher than him.
True. So Raiders-Seahawks tied 23-23. O'Connell had a decent game for the Raiders as he's going to be the backup this year. Ashton Genty only had a couple carries for a couple yards. Not a real distinct debut for him.
Yeah, not much.
Thoughts about this one?
You know, I think it told you a lot about sort of backups.
Pete Carroll's return against his old team, kind of an interesting.
Drew Lock did decently, you know.
Yeah.
There's a guy named George Holani. He had an interesting game for the Seahawks.
What do you think?
He had seven carries for 61 yards rushing, a touchdown, and he had one reception for 20 yards. I never heard of the guy.
What do you think Carroll's emotions were when he went out onto the field for the first time against his old team that he coached all those games?
I think it was very interesting for him. I think he had a lot of emotions. He poured his heart and soul into Seattle for a long time, and I think he definitely has an allegiance to them that, you know, you lose when you go to another team, but you always remember your memories there.
He was saying after the game that he was worried they were going to boo him, but when he went out on the field, they roared him really, really loud. I mean, he brought them Super Bowls, and so apparently he got a really nice reception from the home crowd there in Seattle. So that's pretty classy.
Yeah.
Some other scores: the Giants take down the Bills. That was actually a pretty good ball game. We watched a lot of that.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart was pretty impressive in that game. You know, there was lots of "he's the next coming" headlines and all that, and you and I always blow those off because that's Monday morning quarterback. But I will say he made some really nice throws. And if I'm the Giants, not this year, but I'm pretty happy about my future with Jackson Dart. He makes all the throws, and he really has a lot of poise.
Yeah, he's got all the tools, and I think he just needs a little time. He can run too. He's a little bit like Josh Allen.
That's right.
You know, it's interesting for the Bills. Frank Gore Jr. was 5 rushes for 21 yards and 5 receptions for 50 yards. He's gonna be a contributor. So that's interesting. Frank Gore Jr.
Right, and then we talked about that Giants front four is just sick. No one's going to want to play that front four. You're going to have to find ways to work around it. I think you have to do little trap plays, draw. Plays. You're going to have to draw it up the middle when they're all rushing, things like that. Next game, Sam Howell picks up a victory for the Vikings. He actually looked really poised in this game. He's got some experience now. He's in his 5th season. So he's a pretty nice little backup. And, you know, I think it's going to be a nice situation for him to be backing up J.J. McCarthy all year. What are your thoughts about the Vikings and Sam Howell?
I really like the Vikings. I think they have a great roster. They've been building it for years. Their defense is well coached and has a lot of talent. I think they have a really nice set of players. And if J.J. McCarthy is good and develops more than he has so far, they're going to be right there in the thick of it.
Agreed.
Which I think is going to happen.
I mean, Colin Cowherd was saying they have the 2nd best roster in the NFC.
Probably.
Yeah. So when you get that kind of situation, you just need competent quarterback play. You don't need, you know, Jaden Daniels necessarily. You just need competent. So next game, of course, we talked about Stetson Bennett and this really surprising game he had, 60 for 24, 188 with 2 touchdowns. Really led the game well. He understood the offense, didn't make any mistakes, and really had the game in control the entire time. So thoughts about the Rams?
I think the Rams have a lot of talented players. I like their coaches. I like the fact that Stetson Bennett is being given an opportunity. I think he's a good backup potential there. Stafford's a great leader. I like the Rams. I think they're really good. I think they've had problems with getting hurt in the past with injuries, but they'll be all right.
Is it possible he plays a lot this year if Stafford keeps having back problems?
I don't think so.
Possible? No?
No.
Okay.
Is it possible? Yes, but I don't foresee it.
So another guy who's surprised is in this next game, and he used to be on the Dolphins, Skylar Thompson. 20 for 28, 233 with 3 touchdowns. I mean, really had a nice game for the Steelers. And actually, Jaguars played pretty well too. And of course, Travis Hunter had a couple catches. So thoughts about this game?
Steelers threw the ball really well. I was surprised.
Yeah.
The biggest takeaway from this game was the Jaguars kicker hitting a 70-yarder. But honestly, the Steelers look better.
They put in a new offense with Arthur Smith, who used to be with the Falcons, and they're trying to not be so boring, so vanilla. And I think it's working.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe they can actually score some points this year.
Yeah, why not?
Titans lose to the Buccaneers. Buccaneers' Kyle Trask comes in and plays really well. And, of course, Egbuka had a really nice game. He had a touchdown from Baker Mayfield. So any thoughts about this game? Cam Ward only played 2 series.
But he looks good.
Look good.
Cam Ward looks good.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a good leader. He's going to have a good career.
It's hard to take away from the scores. I try not to look as much at the scores as I look at the major drives these big players played, and he played very well when he was playing.
Yeah, you got to get a sense of what did the starters do and what was the flow of the game. Were your rookies throwing the ball up for grabs and turning the ball over and leading to lopsided, weird scoring? You just can't read too much into it.
Right. Next game, Jets beat the Packers. Justin Fields played really well coming off his toe injury. It was really nice to see that he's not going to be hampered by that. And then his backup, Martinez, played really well. And the Jets really had 2 great halves here. So thoughts about the Jets? Is it time to hope, or they always hope every year and then they suck, or what's
I don't think they have that much to hope for. They I don't know. Fields ran the ball well. He wasn't great throwing.
But he never has been. So
no, I know. Yeah, he's an okay option, but I don't think that I'd be reading too much into this game.
I agree with that. Then the Cardinals beat the Chiefs in kind of a little bit of a sleeper. Mahomes threw 1 touchdown and basically took himself out of the game the rest of the time. Kyler Murray played decent. Only played 2 series, but anything you take away from this one? The starters didn't play much?
Not too much. Just I think the starters, had you left them in, would have had a different result. But
And then the Broncos beat the 49ers 30-9 with Stidham having a huge game, probably the biggest game of his career. The 49ers essentially rested all their big guys because they're kind of an older roster. So
yeah, they're older and they don't have much depth. So that's why you blow out their second string.
Yeah. Not sure you can take much from a game like that where one team doesn't play any of their starters. So a couple more games here. Chargers beat the Saints with Tyler Show having his first game for the Saints. Had a decent game, 15 for 22 with a touchdown. And then Trey Lance continues to play pretty well for the Chargers in relief. Trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, I think Lance looked pretty good. And Show looked like a rookie. but he looked like a talented rookie, somebody that's going to make good plays and then a bonehead error and then good plays. He missed a couple of open hit strikes, but pretty much you can see where he's going to be. He's going to be a good, pretty decent option. He might be the future.
So then Dolphins and Bears tied 24-24. The Dolphins had a really surprising, nice contribution by this backup running back to a Shane. His name is Ollie Gordon.
Yeah.
And they were saying he just pops off the page. He just has a lot of juice. And I know people in Miami are really excited about this guy and having a two-headed monster at running back. Just hoping that McDaniels will actually use the running game this year. He never seems to. And then they had two Washington wide receivers, T. Washington and M. Washington, which is Malik Washington. Both had really nice games for the Dolphins in relief. So I think I see some signs of that Dolphins offense really coming to life this year. We'll see.
Yeah, they had Alexander Mattson got injured. He's out for a season, so that's unfortunate because they had a running back battle going for a second string. So it looks like Jalen Wright's got that locked down.
I don't think anyone's going to buy the Dolphins until they see the defense do something this year. You know, of course, they gave up two Hall of Fame defensive coordinators they had the 2 years before in Flores and Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. I think where the defense goes, the Dolphins go this year, sadly.
I don't know. Last year they had a lot of injuries. I mean, they've had a tremendous amount of injuries at corner, unfortunately, right now. But they are, if they're able to get some good pass rush, I think they could do some good stuff.
So coming up this weekend, Robbie, the Dolphins are playing the Lions. So that's going to be kind of an interesting matchup.
Let's go.
Excited to see what they can do against each other. And then the Panthers have the Texans. So that's going to be kind of fun to see Bryce Young against C.J. Stroud. They were the 1 and 2 picks their year.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun. The Panthers actually beat the Texans last year by 1 point. So it'll be fun to look forward to. This was interesting. The Panthers-Browns preseason game this past weekend was the most watched preseason game of all time. Had the highest ratings of all time for a preseason game.
People wanted to see Shedeur. What would
happen?
Does
that surprise you that he has that kind of juice in the media, or is it just that he's been so pumped up by the fact that he's being son?
His dad is prime time. He's teaching him the art of creating, hype.
Do NFL fans just so desperately want him to be good that they're going to watch every one of his games this year? I don't know.
I think it's just like Dion. They just can't take their eyes off it.
Yeah, whether it's good or bad.
Whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
They can't not watch.
Incredible that Browns-Panthers is the highest watched game of all time. You never would have guessed that one. And there's only one reason why, and that's Shedeur Sanders.
That would be a super crazy trivia question.
Yeah, it would be. Put that into trivia for sure. Let's look at some more of the NFL position rankings from Madden. So this one is the fantasy running back rankings, and we're about to have our fantasy draft coming up here. So these are kind of important to us, Robbie. They've got Bijan Robinson, the number 1 fantasy running back this year, which is pretty surprising. I think he's going to carry a heavy load. Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, Ashton Genty, Deshaun Shane, Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Bucky Irving, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams, Hampton, who's the rookie, Kenneth Walker, and then James Cook at 15. So any of these you have a problem with, you'd move up or down?
Not sure what you're going to get out of Jonathan Taylor.
He's always
Amarian Hampton. That's interesting to see him up in there. James Cook,
I'm not putting Bijan Robinson first. I'm sorry. He's a good back, but the number 1 fantasy running back?
I think Barkley and Gibbs are higher than Robinson.
Barkley, Gibbs, maybe. I mean, McCaffrey's, when he's healthy, McCaffrey's the best back in fantasy, period. I won 2 years when I had him. So a
Yeah,
couple of these guys are a little high, a couple are a little bit too low. I would say James Cook is way too low at 15.
I agree with that.
That's crazy. He carries a lot of their offense. I'd probably switch him and Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to be banged up a lot this year. Bucky Irving maybe should be a little bit higher. He had a really fantastic year last year.
Yeah, I'd probably leave that.
Ashton Genty at 5. That's just projection at this point. We don't really know what he's going to be.
Yeah, that's too high.
Shane, I think he's up there, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So interesting to look at. Tight ends. Let's look at that. George Kittle is a 98 and the top guy this year. They got Kelsey at 93, Trey McBride 92, Mark Andrews 91, Brock Bowers 90, Njoku 89, Hawkinson 88, Dallas Goedert 87, Sam Laporta 86, and then Evan Engram comes in last at 85. So what do you think of this order? Who do you think's too high, too low?
I think that's pretty close. Maybe Brock Bowers should be higher.
He definitely should be higher. There's no way he should be at 90.
But these guys are all real close together, and I think so that
I mean, Trey McBride was fantastic last year. It was basically their whole offense. So I'm
you
good with
could
that.
put Laporta higher.
Although I don't have a problem with these being the top 5. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews, when he's healthy, is fantastic. So I'd probably put Brock Bowers a little bit higher, I think. You like Kittle at number 1?
No. I'd probably put Bowers at number 1.
Would you?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
McBride's probably number 2.
I think so. I was going to say McBride.
Kittle 3.
Kittle 3. Kelsey
4. Andrews 5.
Yeah, I think that's right. I'm not sure why Madden put it this way, but interesting to see. Let's look at the top 10 rookies in Madden this year. They have Travis Hunter at 84. He's the number 1 guy. Ashton Genty 83. Abdul Carter 81. Mason Graham 80. Will Campbell, Jalen Walker, Kenneth Grant, Barron, Mikael Williams, and Maxwell Hairston. So that's your top 10 rookies right now.
Yeah.
Any problem with that?
That's about right.
I'd probably put...
That's why I said it was a good draft, by the way. Even though it wasn't heavy on quarterbacks, it was still a good draft.
Yeah, that's right. I'd probably put Abdul Carter number 2 and Genty 3. So I switch those 2. But I think the rest of these guys look right. Some NFL news. Prayers up for Maurice Morris. We got this great news yesterday that he's okay. But I did want to just mention that every time this happens, Robbie, even if it's a preseason game or a practice, it's pretty cool to see both teams come out on the field and all pray together and pray over the guy. And I mean, is there any bigger fraternity than football players? Because they go out there every game and they put their life on the line. They put their health on the line, life on the line. They might never walk again. So what are your thoughts about the fraternity that is the players of the NFL?
I mean, it's pretty cool to see that they come together when somebody gets hurt and they don't like it. There's a lot of injuries in football.
Because you could get hurt every play. So and they know that. So
that's right.
It's I don't know. For me, it's heartwarming to see both. Basically, you don't care what team you're on at that very moment. You're just hoping the guy's okay. He's not going to paralyze the rest of his life.
I remember the DeMar Hamlin. Remember that?
Oh my God, that was so crazy.
Went in and said, "We're not coming back out." That kind of stuff.
That was crazy.
That was wild.
The fact that he's still playing right now.
Yeah,
pretty incredible. So Jackson Dart with his big game, really, really tight game, and you might have essentially a quarterback controversy if Russell Wilson stumbles or Jameis Winston. So any thoughts about this? Obviously, you don't want to blow it up too big.
Too early. Too early for that. But you can be happy with picking him and watching him develop.
It's better than watching him play really badly, right? Having to be sharp
Oh yeah,
to show that he knows the playbook.
of course.
Yeah. Got a big arm. So I think they made a nice pick there. I really do. For like 2 or 3 years from now. So this is pretty funny. Following his transcendent preseason performance against the vaunted Carolina Panthers defense, the Cleveland Browns have retired the number 12 and constructed a Shedeur Sanders statue.
That's crazy.
What do you think about this Monday morning quarterback kind of situation?
I mean, I already told you, it's too much.
His transcendent performance. Yeah, pretty funny.
You can be happy with what happened and you move forward, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
What do you think about the 9 teams that have submitted trade offers for Tanner McKee?
I mean, this is what happens. You realize you hit on somebody but you don't really have room on your roster, or you have a need somewhere else, or you need some picks, and you develop somebody moving them on and get the pick.
I'm not trading them this year. You have to have a good backup.
No, that's right. I'm not either.
But not this year.
No.
So we talked about the first ever 70-yard field goal. I just wanted to show Cam Little's face. Like, you dream about this if you're a kicker. Like this.
Yeah, it was special.
It's a dream come true.
Very special kick, for sure.
And the coaches are so happy for him. Super cool. So let's talk about the Hutch rule. So Aiden Hutchinson has been so dominant during training camp that Dan Campbell has implemented something called the Hutch rule, which allows a play to continue even if Hutchinson has blown it up. What are your thoughts about them having to put in a special rule for him?
He's one of the top 2 or 3 best young edge rushers. He blows up plays all the time. If he's got a motor, if you were to have to stop the Hutch rule, I mean, if you had to stop play every single time he's doing something special, you wouldn't get any work done in practice. So
you never get a play run because he's always in the backfield.
As long as he can stay healthy, they're lethal.
Yeah, you're so good. I don't want to play him. So we talked about the situation with Milton, that he's great fundamentally. His feet are getting better every day. He has had the biggest jump of any of the second-year quarterbacks, according to the coaches. The ball's coming out. He's finding completions. He's really running the offense. Instead of trying to show off his arm, which we all know he has, he's now playing quarterback within the system. So you've really seen a big leap for him in terms of his understanding of the offense. So where do you think Milton could go? What's his potential?
Well, I think he could be a starter. I think he'd be a starter. I think he could be better than the bottom 5 or 6 right now.
Could he be better than Dak one day? Is that possible?
Yes.
Because he's
especially at that value.
He has
Dak
a better
is wildly overpriced, so he's not a good value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he's got real potential. I just don't know if he gets enough playing time to grow it, but
I think this is perfect for him. He's once again sitting, learning, getting all kinds of knowledge and wisdom, and
waiting for the 4 games that Dak is hurt so he can play.
Yeah.
So a couple others here. This was pretty interesting to see all the different luxury cars this 22-year-old already has. He's got an $840,000 salary this year, but he has a Rolls Royce for $350,000, a Lamborghini 240, Maybach. I don't even know what that is. He's got a Dodge, a Corvette, a Tesla Cybertruck, and a Mercedes. So do you think he has enough cars?
Mm-hmm. Obviously grew up with a rich dad.
So what do you make of this? Would this be concerning for you if you're, offensive coordinator for the Browns? You see him rolling up in a different car every day.
I don't think it should be overstated, but I think that it's just something to remember, and maybe it'll motivate him to say, "Hey, I'm not some rich kid. I'm a hard worker."
He has a bodyguard and a 3-person posse. I don't know.
He needs to take notes from Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he can play. I'm not saying that. I'm just concerned. It's just blaring red flags all over the place.
Yeah.
You want a guy who wants to work hard. So,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Interesting. So the skill players, 2012 versus 2025 for the Commanders. What were the Redskins? You got RG3 versus Jaden Daniels. You got Alfred Morris versus Brian Robinson Jr. Pierre Garcon versus Terry McLaurin. Santana Moss versus Debo Samuel. Josh Morgan versus Noah Brown. And Logan Paulson at tight end versus Zach Ertz. So which of these teams that were both playoff teams do you like?
Oh, 2025 for sure.
Me too. Why though?
It's not that close. Quarterback,
Higher talent at almost every
running
position.
back. I'd rather Scary Terry.
Wide receiver,
I'd
Debo.
rather Debo. And then tight ends are a wash.
Yeah, I think so. I would say 2025 by about 5%.
By a lot. Yeah.
Just a little bit better roster.
I think it's by a lot.
Yeah, I think so. So these are the NFL division projections by the USA Today. This is who they think is going to win each division. They've got the Broncos winning the West, not the Chiefs. They think the Chiefs will take a slight step back this year and maybe even face some injury issues. They've got the Ravens picking up the North, Texans again in the South, which is a very weak division. And they've got the Bills again winning the East. That would be the 7th year in a row. They've got in the West, in the NFC, they've got the 49ers. They've got in the North, the Packers knocking off the Lions. In the South, the Bucks. And in the East, the Eagles. So thoughts about number ones and number twos in each of these divisions?
How about the Panthers getting second?
Yeah, I like that. People are starting to take them seriously. Yeah.
Lions are going to beat the Packers.
You think so?
Yep.
Did you see Jordan Love throw the ball on Saturday?
Yeah.
He's pretty darn good.
I know.
Yeah.
It's going to be close.
And the Vikings are good too.
Packers D might be taking a step backwards.
That division is brutal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
You got 3 playoff teams right there.
Dolphins are not going to be the worst team in that division.
Okay. What about, let's go by winners. He's going to win the AFC West.
Chiefs.
Okay. Me too. Chiefs.
Bengals are going to be higher than the Steelers.
Bengals. Okay. And Ravens are going to win that division. You agree with that? Mm-hmm. South, the Texans or the Jaguars?
I think Jaguars.
I like Texans, but I would not be shocked if the Jaguars win it at all. East, I think it is the Bills. I think they're still clearly the best team in that division.
Probably.
West, I like the Rams if Stafford's healthy. If he's not, the 49ers. If Stafford can be healthy, I like the Rams there. In the North, I could see the Packers doing it. I really could. I could see them being, 12-5, 13-4, something like that, and maybe edging out the Lions by a game. Like they'll both be in the playoffs. South, Bucks, Panthers seems right, and then Eagles, Commanders also seems right. So I don't have a whole lot of problems with most of these. Any other observations?
No, I think those are pretty close.
Saints in last, yes. New York in last, yes. Bears last, yes. I don't know. I think Seahawks and Cardinals will be fighting for last. I agree with you. I think in the East, the Jets will be the last.
Mm-hmm.
Colts are terrible. They're thinking Cam Ward is going to put the Titans into third. Browns are terrible. And in the West, unfortunately, the Raiders are in just a tough division. So. Looking at the Major League Baseball standings in the American League, you notice the Toronto Blue Jays took over the division about a month ago, and they've held on to it. They're 4 games up now, and the Yankees have continued to slip, and now they're 6.5 back. And unfortunately, our Orioles have not done what they needed to do in the second half, and that is they needed to win 2 out of 3, and they've been essentially winning about 2 out of 4. So they're just not going to get there this year, unfortunately. Looking like Toronto's looking really good to win that division. Detroit continues to maintain their lead. It was 10, now it's down to 6. Cleveland's trying to make a run of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Houston Astros are half a game up on the Mariners. They've lost significant ground with the Mariners. As you see, they won 7 in a row now. So they're trying to take the division from the Astros. Any surprises here?
Not really. I think this is kind of playing out real similar to what it looked like. Of course, I mean, I think if you were to ask me at the beginning of the season, the Yankees and Orioles would be higher, but
What's amazing is if the season ended today, the 3 wildcard teams would be Boston, Cleveland, and Seattle. So the Yankees would be out in the cold. And the way they started the season, you never would have thought that. I mean, they had a commanding lead. Yeah, they really faded. So kind of wild to see. Looking in the National League, Philly is maintaining their lead in the East pretty solidly. Milwaukee Brewers have overtaken the Cubs. When we looked at this a month ago, the Cubs had a nice 4-game lead, and the Cubs have just been plummeting ever since. You can see the Brewers have won 9 in a row. They're really hot right now. So the Cubs look like they're going to be unbeatable in this division. All of a sudden, they're in wild card position. And then the Dodgers are holding on to a very slim 2-game lead against the Padres, who are really good this year. If the season ended today, you'd have the Padres, the Cubs, and the New York Mets as your 3 wildcard teams. So surprises here?
not really. I like to see the Marlins up there starting to climb. Milwaukee's having a heck of a season.
I think Milwaukee is a big surprise for me. I really thought the Cubs were going to win that division relatively easily. And the fact that the Brewers are really on a tear. I think they're going to win that division now. It's crazy.
No surprise the Dodgers are good.
Yeah. The Padres, though, are nipping on their heels. And it's not impossible for them to take it. I mean, you still have about 40 games left.
Yeah.
Either way, both those teams will make the playoffs. So pretty interesting. Brewers are kind of surprising.
Yeah.
And a couple surprises in the American League, too. Some other news. This was that graphic I wanted to show you. 159 home runs for Babe Ruth in his first 674 career games, and his one-loss record was 35-18 in his first 455 innings pitched. So if you look at Ohtani in the same span, he has 160 home runs in his first 674 games. So he has one more home run. And then his win-loss record is about the same, 35-19. So he basically has the same win-loss record and one more home run in the same time period. And again, against much better athletes. So this is what we were talking about this guy is really a special talent. And
yeah, once in a lifetime.
Are we appreciating him enough is the question.
Starting to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't see two-way players like this anymore. It just doesn't exist.
Mm-mm.
So I hope people are really appreciating him and try to watch him whenever you can when he's on TV.
Yeah.
So this was pretty cool. Kobe Bryant's accolades. He had 5 championships, 1 MVP, 2 finals MVPs, 18 All-Stars, 12 defensive teams, and 15 All-NBA teams. Tim Duncan's accolades, and no one ever talks about Tim Duncan. 5 championships, 2 MVPs, 3 finals MVPs, 15 All-Stars, 15 All-Defensive, and 15 All-NBA. So he had 1 more MVP than Kobe did, and 1 more finals MVP. So where do you place these two?
Amazing.
Where do you place these two kind of in the annals of NBA history, kind of in that top 10, 15?
I don't know. They're way up there.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10?
I think so. I mean, you just look at the numbers. So same thing as with Ohtani, although he's playing right now, but do we appreciate these two enough when we have other guys we talk about all the time? So interesting to see there, both Hall of Famers. This was pretty interesting to look at Brian Kelly's career. Okay, he gets to Notre Dame in 2010. During that time span, 11 years, Notre Dame had 0 major bowl wins, and LSU had 4. Then in 2021, he goes to LSU, so that's 4 years ago. During that time, Notre Dame has 3 major bowl wins, and LSU has 0. So the question is it Brian Kelly?
No.
What do you think, Robbie?
Marcus Freeman's been doing a nice job of recruiting, but it's not that different. It's just he's been able to get the game done. I don't know. I think this is kind of a cheap shot by whoever made the graphic.
I don't think so. I don't think
I
so.
do. I don't think
Your
it's
record is your record. Your record is your record.
I know, but you let him coach long enough, and he'll turn it around. I think
he's gone 3 years, and Notre Dame wins 3 major bowl wins championships, and hadn't done it for almost 2 decades before that. I don't know.
You could say he laid the foundation for it. I don't know.
Or maybe he's not a very good recruiter. I don't know. I mean, that whole Burrow championship year was right before he came. So,
yeah.
I don't know. This is interesting. I'm not anti Brian Kelly or anything. It's just interesting to look at the record that it's not very good if you're just looking at pure results.
Yeah.
So, and what Notre Dame's done without him. This was pretty cool. Sydney Sweeney is much in the news these days. Made the entire NFL fan base go weak and excited when she declared, "My parents are extremely fond and interested in the NFL, especially the Buffalo Bills. So if they win the Super Bowl this season, I will go naked to celebrate it." So all of a sudden, there's all these new Buffalo Bill fans.
That's incredibly silly. And for her to bring in her parents as if they're going to be proud of that.
I know.
I like her though, but
what do you thought about this? Is she going to be
seems like a nice kid? Like,
don't you think she's going to be seeing Bills games? They're going to try to make it Taylor Swift kind of thing.
But it seems like there's a lot of the hype machine is rolling in her direction right now.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of young men that hope the Bills win the Super Bowl.
I think it's interesting when celebrities pick their team and go public, and so. But
she probably doesn't really care. She loves her parents. You know what I mean? Her parents.
Yeah, she gets charged because her parents are excited.
Her parents like the Bills. Yeah. So Dion said, so after watching my boy tear up and embarrass the veteran players in his debut game, I have no doubt he'd be the greatest number 12 to ever play the game. And then ain't no Bull June. You feel me? So, of course, number 12 is also Tom Brady. So you think he's getting a little over his skis on this one? Or is this just a proud dad talking?
I think it's a proud dad. He can't help himself. And I'll give him a pass for that one. But I couldn't disagree more. I really like the performance. But it's preseason, so just
Rob, Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl wins.
Take his performance and move forward.
Yeah.
Hope that he can do it again sometime in his career.
The greatest number 12 to ever play, even for his bravado, and I kind of enjoy it. It's amusing. Even that's incredible that he could say something like that. The greatest number 12 ever to play the game. Wow. Because there was a lot of good ones. I think this is a proud dad speaking. I really do. So I'm gonna give him a pass. But if he stops with the greatest of all time stuff. So this is kind of interesting. I didn't know about this story till this week. Antonio Brown has not returned to the United States nearly 2 months after a Miami warrant was issued charging him with attempted murder. Instead, authorities say he's overseas, possibly in Dubai, while showing luxuries on social media. He's been showing like luxury cars and all this stuff, openly flaunting sports cars and luxury items, and screenshots showing a $24 million bank balance. The shooting outside a Miami celebrity boxing event led to warrants calling for a $10,000 bond and house arrest if he's apprehended. So what do you think about this? How's this going to end? Is he ever going to come to the U.S. again? Is he just going to stay over there and not get extradited? What do you
No idea.
What do you think's going to happen here?
I don't know what the laws are.
And, he kind of left the league with a screw loose. We saw him kind of flame out a couple times. And Does this surprise you? This happened to him? I mean, he just
No, he had an epic meltdown.
he's a loose cannon. But this is serious when you're talking about murder now. This
Yeah.
is just like, acting up or something. So we'll be tracking this story. It's very interesting to see this guy's on the loose and he doesn't want to come home now. And he's flaunting his money all over the place.
Yeah.
So he could be in some real trouble legally.
Yeah, it looks like he's definitely in some big trouble.
So this was very sad with my Orioles fading this year after having a couple of really great seasons. The Oriole bird has been traded to the Biloxi Shuckers for 2 sickly kittens and a minor league mascot to be named later.
So
What do you think of that?
it's having a down year.
It's Oriole fan depression is what it is after being in the playoffs 2 years in a row. Oh, brutal. Pretty funny, though. They better not trade the Oriole.
Nah.
All right, so here's the subscriber challenge of the evening. Then we'll close it out with Rob's mailbag. First one is, which 2024 QB will be a bust? You can only choose one. Robbie?
I'm saying Drake May.
Drake May for Robbie.
Drake May.
I say Caleb Williams because he's emotionally unstable. He just can't get it together. I don't know what it is. He'll miss a simple route in practice, and then he goes and does a temper tantrum on the sideline. He has to have 3 or 4 coaches pull him aside and kind of calm him down. He just doesn't have that leadership demeanor that you would expect from a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Caleb Williams. So guys, drop us a comment on who you think will be the 2024 QB bust out of this list. So similar question for the second one. Who will be the 2025 QB bust? Starts with Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Tyler Show, Jalen Milroe, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Kyle McCord, etc.
I think Dylan Gabriel.
I think Tyler Show. I think he was drafted way too high in the second round. I think he's a developmental guy, and they're going to try to start him this year, and it's going to be a disaster for the Saints.
Yeah. I think they're going to start Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, you're right. I think they'll try to save Show a little bit with Spencer Rattler starting, but I mean, of course, Spencer Rattler's not very good either. So
no, he's okay. He's pretty athletic.
I could see Gabriel, but I think Show will be a flame out. I really do. We'll see. Guys, drop us a comment who you think will be the 2025 QB bust. So before we get started on Rob's mailbag, a couple quick things here. The first one is, look at this, Robbie, the weekend of September 27, 28. Look at this schedule. And how in the world are we going to watch all these incredible games?
I don't know.
First one is the U.S. playing Europe in the Ryder Cup, which only happens every 2 years.
We got to tell our family in advance of that.
Exactly. We'll see you next time. Next one is LSU Ole Miss, Ohio State Washington, Alabama Georgia, and Oregon Penn State. It just doesn't get any better than that in terms of a slate. That's Saturday. And then on Sunday, you got Vikings, Steelers, Eagles, Tampa Bay, Ravens, Chiefs, and Green Bay Cowboys for the Sunday night game. So what do you think about this lineup that weekend?
It's great.
Hope we have nothing going.
Yeah.
Ryder Cup is fantastic too, by the way. The other thing here is Rob's football house rules. Don't root against the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
And don't talk when the Dolphins are playing. Those are
exactly.
Very simple rules.
Those are simple rules. So they can be easily followed. Cool. Well, let's see. We've got a couple news items. In the NBA, there was a former Miami Heat security guard who got arrested for selling $2 million worth of jerseys. It's an interesting little heist. That was interesting. Major League Baseball, the first female ump called a game. Did you see that?
It was very cool. And
at first, she was one of the baseline umps, and then the next day she was behind home plate. Her name was Jen Powell,
Mm-hmm.
and she was from the Marlins Braves game, and that was interesting.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very cool for her. They said that she was very nervous and that she blew the first 2 strikes.
yeah. There was some
You're like,
nitpicking of her strike calls, and I get it. Some of them were pretty bad, but
they said the first at bat was rough, but that she settled in and she got
yeah,
better and better as the game went on. So
yeah,
I'm glad to see that. Yeah.
yeah. Good for her.
Yeah.
And this is interesting in college football. This is the first time a number one team in the country, Texas, is not favored in their game. They're an underdog.
Wow.
That's strange.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Ohio State is the favored team.
Mm-hmm.
And also, did you know that Kurt Warner's son is going to start at Fresno State at quarterback?
Oh, fantastic.
So that's cool. Watching the
That's a
next
great story.
generation.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Cool.
let's do the mailbag. All right, first one. Can't wait for the season to start at Bailey Larson.
That's great. You know what, Bailey? We feel the same way. We can't wait.
And to put it in context, we're talking about the college. This was from our college episode.
Yes. College football. Yeah. We agree.
College football episode.
You can see behind Rob's screen there all the different colleges out of
Yeah.
that episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Good one. Next one. The rivalries are going to be epic at Julie Anthony. Rivalry.
Could not
What's your
agree
favorite
more.
rivalry, Tom? What do you like to watch?
Either Ohio State, Michigan, or Georgia, Alabama. Like,
Yeah,
to
I
me,
think so.
to me, those are the greatest two. The one I hate watching the most is Virginia, Virginia Tech. Not
Same.
because I should like it. I should like it as a Virginia fan, but I don't like watching it because it's always a loss.
We'll
So,
always lose no matter what.
so I hate watching it.
All right. Next one. The freshman talent coming in this season could really shake up the rankings. Can't wait to see some breakout stars at Damon Andrews. Freshman
That's cool,
talent.
Ben. Yeah, that's a good point. I think Rob was making the point in that episode that guys are staying longer, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5 years, which is great for the league. But you're still going to have those breakout freshmen, those breakout young guys that come in that shake up
Yeah.
the program. Yeah, so that's
No
exciting.
doubt. I've been seeing actually articles on this about how a lot of freshmen are slotted or projected to be impact players. And the pros are watching, they're going to watch them develop and
Think about
really,
some of the freshman quarterbacks we're talking about. You're talking about Underwood at Michigan. You're talking about Sayin at Ohio State. You're talking
yeah,
about some of these really young guys that are coming in that are being asked to carry these big mammoth programs.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yep. And last one, already feeling the championship vibes at Sean Nguyen.
Oh, that's cool, Sean. That's cool.
Championship vibes.
We are too. We cannot wait to go on this journey with you guys this year. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the mailbag this week.
Fantastic. So, Robbie, heading into week 2 of preseason, what do you want to see from the teams? They're going to
I
continue
want
to
to
play
see
the
every
run block.
kicker hit a 70-yard field goal.
Okay.
No, I think they need to just use their preseason, have the guts to play the players you want to take a look at and not worry about injury, and do the best you can with using wisdom in terms of what would create an injury situation. But just get everyone ready and kind of make the best 53-man roster that you can. And so much good college football is almost here. So that the college teams are really preparing. And then, baseball is heating up. August, it always gets interesting. You start seeing the playoff teams separate.
Mm-hmm.
So
You got 40 games left in baseball, so you got a couple teams that are really hot, and a couple of the races are really close. We'll see if the Dodgers can hang on.
Yeah.
So
Probably can.
It'll be a lot of fun, and then college football starts in 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
Didn't get much better than that.
There's going to be some amazing matchups right out of the gate. So it starts the season right. There's not this soft patsy schedule everywhere where there's no entertainment for a couple weeks.
Why do you think Texas is underdog in that game?
I don't know. I don't have them as an underdog. I think they're trying to take pressure off Arch Manning.
I mean, Texas
There's an assumption that everyone thinks they're all piling on that he's gonna be the greatest ever and all that. I think it's kind of the opposite. People are thinking that he's gonna fail.
I mean, it is a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, but he's sort of built for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that Texas has the best defense in the country. Number one.
Yeah.
They've got stars. They got 5 stars at every position. They don't have the wide receivers Ohio State does. Ohio State has the best wide receivers in football.
True.
There's no question about that. We don't know what Sayan's going to be, so I don't know how you could possibly
That's
say
what I'm worried
Ohio
about.
State's favorite. Yeah, how can you say they're favorite when we don't know what Sayan is? He's a young
You
guy.
could say we don't know exactly what Arch is because he didn't play very much, but I think you know what Arch is. You know what I
We
mean?
know Arch more than Sayan.
Yes,
He's coming in completely cold. So
no doubt.
he could be fantastic. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
He may blow us away.
Who knows?
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Great content coming your way. We are really close to football season. We have a lot of great stuff coming to you. NFL kickoffs, college kickoffs, and others. Great interviews on the way. So, again, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining us on the journey and leaving us the great comments. We appreciate it so much.
We had a great time this week, and it's only just getting better and heating up. So stay with us and fire us a comment. I love reading the mailbag. It's a lot of fun to hear what you're thinking out there and challenge our ideas or agree with them or whatever, and give us your perspective. We love it.
Tell us what teams and players you're tracking in training camp, because there's a lot of interesting stories. As you saw, we just went through a lot of them, and I'm sure you're tracking some of the stories and which ones you're the most interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, have a fantastic night, and we'll see you next time on the Sports Guys. Have a great one.
See you soon.